Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this mid-month meeting to order, and welcome to anyone who is watching online. We will begin, because it's mid-month, we'll have, it's obviously a shorter agenda, and many councillors will save their reports for the beginning of the month of October, but I just will comment briefly. As everyone is well aware, we have moved, the island of Montreal has moved to code orange, and with that come different implications in terms of gatherings. And we will continue to update our website over the coming days of what those, if there are indeed any changes for how we run any of our programming in the city, but rest assured, all of our services in terms of public works are still up and running and totally functional. So we will, this is not welcome news in terms of the numbers across the province, the highest numbers we've seen in a long, long time. So we will continue to work with the City of Montreal and public health to ensure the health and safety of our residents. And we are continuing to work with schools to ensure that they are spending as much time outside as possible. So now I turn it over. I don't think there are any other reports. We will begin with the first question period.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So our first question is from Steve Myro. The question is as follows. The traffic light patterns / synchronization on Sherbrooke is terrible. The main issue is that the east-west green lights are much too short in duration for the amount of traffic on Sherbrooke, frequently leading to cars backed up through one or more intersections. For example, the eastbound green light at Claremont lasts about 17 seconds. This should be at least 60 seconds to allow traffic to properly flow. Are you looking into this, and will you be making any changes to traffic light patterns specifically, but not limited to Sherbrooke?
I can answer that question and then turn it over to any councillors if they want to have any other commentary. There have been some traffic changes on Sherbrooke Street with the candlelight for buses and increasing pedestrian time so that pedestrians have a longer amount of time to cross. And obviously traffic is a balance between ensuring the safety of pedestrians crossing the street and traffic. But it will be, yes, we will continue. Those obviously have had a ripple effect, and we will look at it at the Traffic Advisory Committee. Does anyone else want to comment on that? No, so we will be, I think we have your email, I'm sure, with the question that you've submitted. We can share any further information with you. Any further questions?
Yes, one last question received. This is from Shari Newdorf. The question is as follows. Many restaurants and shops in Westmount are not following the COVID health and safety guidelines put forth by the province. For example, in some establishments, seating both outdoors and indoors are overcrowded. Additionally, some local shopkeepers are wearing shields without masks, wearing masks improperly, or simply masking up when a customer enters the store, and then removing the mask when they leave. With the City of Montreal now in orange alert, what role will Westmount take in enforcing the new rules and guidelines?
So we do not, we work with the SPVM who enforces this, the mask guidelines from the province. The easiest way to report that is through the SPVM website if you have a specific location that you are concerned about, similar to how at the beginning of COVID, 6 months ago, there is a link on the SPVM website where you could report an incident of people not social distancing. That you can do that for masks as well. So I encourage you to do that. We have worked very hard on communication throughout the city consistently to wear masks, to ensure social distancing of 2 meters, and to not have large gatherings. It is very, very clear, the instructions from public health for this, and we can certainly relay your concerns. You don't mention which restaurant in particular, but we encourage you to report it to the SPVM, which is now giving out fines for masks as opposed to just warnings. Any other questions?
No, that's all.
No? Okay, thank you. Now we'll move to l'adoption de l'ordre du jour. Councillor Chamy.
Oui, merci, Madame la mairesse. Je propose que l'ordre du jour de la séance ordinaire du conseil du 21 septembre 2020 soit adopté.
Merci beaucoup. Est-ce que j'ai un appuyeur, Madame Lallam? Numéro 5, encore Monsieur Chamy, approbation de procès verbal.
Merci, Madame la mairesse. Je propose que le procès verbal de la séance ordinaire du conseil tenue le 8 septembre 2020 soit approuvé.
Merci. Est-ce que j'ai un appuyeur sur ça? Madame Gallery, all in favor? Carried. And to the city clerk, did I ask for a vote on the first item? No. So just vote on, again, the adoption of the agenda. Item 4, all in favor? Carried. Item 6, reports to council. There is no correspondence to table. Item 6.2, again, Councillor Chamy, le procès verbal du comité plénier.
Madame la mairesse, le procès verbal de la rencontre du comité plénier du conseil le 3 août 2020 est déposé et était disponible sur le site web de la ville.
Thank you. Item number 7, again, Councillor Chamy, is the extension of a contract superintendent roads and public works.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the contract of Monsieur Denis René for the position of Superintendent Roads, Grade 8 in the Public Works Department be extended for a maximum period of 31 weeks from the 28th of September 2020 to the 30th of April 2021, according to the needs of the department, the whole in accordance with the recommendation of the Director of Public Works and the terms provided in the working conditions and remuneration of management personnel.
Thank you very much. I'm sure Councillor Cutler would like to second that. Any further comments on this?
Straightforward.
It's a welcome addition to the team at Public Works, which is is for planning for winter. All in favor? Carried. Item number 8, Councillor Cutler, group purchase with the City of Montreal road salt for the winter season of 2020-2021.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to authorize an expenditure in the amount of $233,263.33, including tax credits, for the 2020 fiscal year for the supply of approximately 10,000 metric tons of regular road salt and approximately 250 metric tons of processed salt for the winter season 2020-2021, and that as part of the City of Montreal group purchase contract, the tender of Cargill Limited be accepted for a total amount of $766,360.11, all applicable taxes included, and to allocate this expenditure in accordance with the financial information included in the decision-making file number 2020-1053.
Thank you. And do I have a seconder on this motion? Councillor Bostock. Any further comments on it?
We're a city that's full of slopes that we drive up and down, and so we depend on the salt to keep our roads as safe as they possibly can when it snows.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Item number 9, group purchase with the City of Montreal, purchase of fuels. Again, Councillor Cutler.
Madam Mayor, I move that council authorize the City of Westmount to participate in a group purchase with the City of Montreal for the supply of various bulk fuels for the City of Montreal grouping tender number 20-18226, and that the purchasing manager be mandated to act as a representative of the city for this call for tenders and be authorized to sign any and all documents required to give effect to the present resolution.
Thank you. And a seconder on this issue? Councillor Gallery, any further comments on this?
So much like the salt and some of our other contracts, we purchase these in bulk with the City of Montreal, sometimes other boroughs or municipalities. In this case, this allows us to have better pricing and negotiate a better deal collectively.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Again, Councillor Cutler, staying on winter. The agreement for the rental of trucks for snow removal operations winter 2020-21.
Madam Mayor, I move that an agreement be entered into with Transvac Montreal Laval Incorporated for the supply of 40 trucks for snow removal operations during the 2020-2021 winter season for a minimum guarantee of $9,500 before taxes per truck based on the hourly rates fixed by the Ministère des Transports du Québec, and to authorize an expenditure in the amount of $307,482.14, including tax credits for the 2020 fiscal year, for the supply of 40 trucks for snow removal operations during the 2020-2021 winter season, and to award Transvac Montreal Laval Inc. the contract for the supply of 40 trucks for snow removal operations during the 2020-2021 winter season for a maximum amount of $380,000 plus taxes, and for a minimum amount of $380,000 plus taxes, and a maximum amount of $1,171,500 plus taxes, and to allocate this expenditure in accordance with the financial information in the decision-making file number 2020-1073, and that the Director General be authorized to sign the agreement, and that any other document required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you very much. And a seconder on this, Councillor Lulham. Any further comments on this? This is an increase in the number of trucks than we've seen in previous years. So that is good news for our residents in terms of snow clearing.
It is, Mayor. And I must say, kudos to our Public Works team. This is something that I worked with them on last year to really optimize. We've been able to get another team on our roads to clear snow in the evenings and overnight. And to be honest, I think last year we learned a lot from the experience. We did a pretty good job. It was much more efficient. Now we're adding more trucks. We're going to have 40 trucks to do this. And I'm looking forward to a much more efficient snow clearing process. And as always, welcome feedback from residents if there's thoughts on how we can do this better. The other thing I'll mention as well here is that there's a range in prices based on how much use there's going to be. And so there's like a minimum and a maximum effectively, depending on how many snow clearing operations there end up being.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And as residents may remember, we did make a significant investment into Public Works last year and snow clearing, driven by getting the snow up earlier and having a very, very sharp focus on making sure that sidewalks were cleared as well, and that our commercial areas, school zones, and just getting the snow up faster, which takes more trucks and more people. So, and in the coming weeks, we will have an update for residents of how we're planning this winter, because while we've been in this situation for 6 months with COVID, we never had to load snow. And how the divisions of the teams at Public Works is working. So stay tuned for that. So thank you, Councillor Cutler. All in favor? Or I have a seconder on this sorry, we have that. And all in favor? Carried. Notice of motion, Councillor Gallery. Item number 11, notice of motion bylaw 1563 to further amend bylaw 1544 to establish tariffs for the 2020 fiscal year playing fields.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I give notice of the intention to submit for adoption at a subsequent meeting of council bylaw number 1563 entitled Bylaw to further amend bylaw 1544 to establish tariffs for the 2020 fiscal year playing fields. The object of this bylaw is to remove the tariff for the use of playing fields by local schools during school hours. A copy of the draft bylaw is tabled and available for public consultation.
Thank you. And this doesn't require a vote, but it is something that we have talked about extensively in the city, and that our goal is to have our schools outside as much as possible. So this will allow the use of the playing fields during the day. Any further comments on that, Councillor Gallery?
No, I just encourage the schools to take advantage of using our fields and green space as much as you can as the weather permits.
Yes, thank you. Item 12, the city clerk, adoption of bylaw 1562, modifying bylaws 1553 and 1554 concerning the rates and conditions governing the supply of electricity.
Thank you. I would like to report that all formalities required for dispensing with the reading of this bylaw have been observed, and that copies of the bylaw have been remitted to all members of council and are available for public reference. The object of this bylaw is to end the temporary suspension of late fees for unpaid electricity bills as of October 1st, 2020.
Madam Mayor, I move that bylaw number 15.
Sorry, hang on. I was on mute, sorry. Can I have the declaration by each member of council present that he or she has read the bylaw and that reading is waived thereof?
So
declared. Thank you, Councillor Shammy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that bylaw 1562, entitled a bylaw modifying bylaws 1553 and 1554 concerning the rates and conditions governing the supply of electricity, be now adopted.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder on this motion? Councillor Bostock. Any further comments? Councillor Shammy, no. All in favor? Carried. I declare that bylaw number 1562, entitled bylaw modifying the bylaws 1553 and 1554 concerning the rates and conditions governing the supply of electricity, having been duly adopted, is ordered that notices be given as required by law. Item 13, Councillor Peart, urban planning, approval of building permits.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that, according to the recommendations made by the Planning Advisory Committee at its meetings held on August 18th, September 14th, and September 15th of 2020, the building permit applications appearing on the attached list reviewed under bylaw 1305 on site planning and architectural integration programs be approved.
Thank you. Councillor Lulham, I'm sure would like to second that. Any further comments, any major projects in here?
Nothing major, just mid-month, so they're mostly consents. There's one larger renovation out of the 17, but that's about it.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Carried. Item number 14, there is no new business. Therefore, we move to the second question period. Have there been any?
There is a new business item, I believe, being moved by Councillor Shammy.
Oh, yes, sorry. Councillor Shammy, 14.1, contract by mutual agreement with sole supplier, purchase of disconnect switches, 400 amp, 7.8 kV, MCGR FW 4A1.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to authorize an expenditure in the amount of $75,250 even, including tax credits for the purchase of disconnect switches, 400 amps, 7.8 kilowatt KVs, MCGR FW4A1, tender number PUB 2020-051, and to award to Distributions Limotrique Incorporated the contract for this purpose at a bid price for the maximum amount of $86,518.69, including taxes, the whole in conformity with the contractual documents, the call for tenders, PUB 2020-051, and finally to allocate this expenditure in accordance with the financial information, including in the decision-making file number 2020-1080.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder on this motion? Councillor Breshke. Do you have any further comments on this? Councillor Shammy, all in favor? Carried. That brings us to the end of the items. And are there any further questions that have been submitted to the City Clerk's office?
I will just do the final refresh on our YouTube live page. And there were no further questions submitted for our second question period.
Great. Thank you. We will adjourn the meeting.